Good morning. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith here at the National Weather Service in Pocatello with another edition of your weather hazard briefing. This is Thursday, August 15th. Will sound like a bit of a broken record today, but another day, another round of afternoon thunderstorm potential here in southeast Idaho. This is the pattern we're going to be under for the next week or so. Daily chances of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms pretty much for the next 7 days. Possibly with a little bit of a lull here on Friday and Saturday as we see a little bit better ridging, a little bit better high pressure, kind of cutting down on those thunderstorm chances. We'll take a look at Friday in particular here in just a moment. First, though, for storms today, we may see a few that are on the strong side once again. Generally not expecting an organized severe weather risk, but we'll certainly see a few of the stronger cells get a little bit zesty. Main hazards today, lightning, pea to nickel size hail, not out of the question with a few of the stronger cores. We do have one model in particular this morning that is bringing a kind of a line or a complex of thunderstorm activity up the Snake Plain from near American Falls and Pocatello right up through Idaho Falls and Rexburg this afternoon and evening. And that particular scenario, it's just one of several scenarios that could play out today, but that particular scenario, this model is advertising some wind gusts as high as 50 to 60 miles an hour with that activity. So certainly the potential is out there for some of those stronger wind gusts today as well. Your timing will depend just a little bit on where you are, but broadly speaking, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., most favorable window for thunderstorm activity today. If you're out toward the Wood River Valley or down into the eastern Magic Valley, your threat may start a little bit earlier, maybe closer to 1 p.m., but you'll also be over earlier. We'll see dry conditions building in by about 6 p.m. For areas west of Arco, west of American Falls, and we may linger closer to 9 or 10 p.m. out toward Driggs. We also have a red flag warning in effect from noon to 9 p.m. today. For our fire weather partners, this is going to be zones 422, 475, and 476. Generally speaking, that's portions of our central mountains, and that is for scattered thunderstorm coverage with, of course, that lightning risk. And again, some gusty winds, certainly possible out of a few of those storms as well. Once we get past this kind of drier Friday, Saturday concept, we may have some days as we go into next week where we'll have a few of our fire weather zones that may meet scattered coverage once again on the thunderstorm side of things. So certainly possible we'll have a few more red flag warnings in our future, and we'll kind of evaluate that day by day as we go into next week as well. Mix of wet and dry storms out there with some monsoon moisture trying to creep up from the Four Corners region, particularly as we head into Sunday and onward next week. So as we break all this down in the weather risk outlook, notice it's just thunderstorms. We're not seeing really strong, organized high wind days under this pattern that we're in. We're not seeing excessively hot temperatures, nothing approaching 100 currently in the forecast. So really it's where are the thunderstorms and which day are we going to see that activity, particularly during the afternoon. So widespread today, at least widespread isolated to scattered coverage. Everybody will have the threat of a thunderstorm this afternoon. Here's a drier day Friday, unless you're up north. We'll show you this on a graphic here in a moment, but particularly the Lemhi County region, maybe still an afternoon storm up there. Saturday, mostly dry as well until we start to bring kind of the first push of some of that monsoon flavor moisture northward. And we'll see maybe a few evening into overnight thunderstorms creeping into the southeast highlands and the South Hills, kind of spreading into maybe portions of the Snake Plain overnight. And that's why as we go into Sunday here, we just have thunderstorms listed here for the Snake Plain, the southeast and the northeast highlands and the South Hills, because we may see a few of these cells during the morning and then a reinvigoration of that activity during the afternoon with daytime heating. And then we'll throw in the Lost River Range and Lemhi County in the afternoon as well. Finally, Monday, again, active pattern, daily chances of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, and we'll see that threat again everywhere on Monday and likely beyond that too as we go into the new week. Looking at our watches, warnings, advisories this morning, there is an air quality alert still out for Custer County that's hiding underneath the red flag warning here, so you can't really see it. But The areas shaded in pink, those are the areas where we have that red flag warning in effect today for scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorm coverage, lightning risk. There's also a dense fog advisory up here. The observations this morning at West Yellowstone have shown very low visibility with fog up in that area. Most of that has been staying north of the divide. We haven't seen much of that come down into Fremont County, which is good news. But if you are traveling up that way, particularly early this morning, be on alert for some fog and some reduced visibilities. Clear skies other than the fog. You can actually, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on the screen here for those of you watching this on YouTube, but a little bit of blue shading up here in the West Yellowstone area, indicative of that fog down in the low levels. Otherwise, we have some showers and some higher level clouds here coming across Oregon, starting to head into the Boise area, but clear locally. Not expecting widespread clouds today, but obviously we have a chance of thunderstorms, so at some point we will see some obscuration of that sunshine as that activity moves through this afternoon. Nothing on radar as we open up things this morning either. Low temperatures this morning, no surprise here. 40s, some low 50s dominating here across the forecast area. And as we get into high temperatures today, once again, 80s, the rule of thumb. Mountain areas, Stanley, Sun Valley, Chalice, upper 70s, Island Park, some spots in the higher elevations down here in the southeast may hold in the 70s, but generally 80s will be the rule of thumb. And you can see the highest values, as usual, coming in across the eastern Magic Valley into the Raft River region, probably not hitting 90 anywhere today. Here's our severe weather outlook for this afternoon. Right now, just a general thunderstorm risk, not looking at an organized severe weather threat. But again, there's at least one computer model that we're looking at here that really lights up the Snake Plain corridor from American Falls and Pocatello, maybe out to Craters and Arco, northeastward up toward Idaho Falls, Rexburg, and Du Bois, for maybe some stronger wind gusts with that activity. And again, we have a lot of different computer models we look at. They don't always agree, particularly with something as kind of particular as isolated thunderstorm development. So we'll see how that plays out today. But as usual, keep an eye on the radar and make sure you have a way to get any warnings just in case we do see an isolated severe thunderstorm this afternoon. As we go into Friday, very similar temperatures, upper 70s to upper 80s, depending on where you're located. Severe weather outlook Friday, look at that green shifting north. Remember, Friday is the first of 2 drier days in our pattern. May still see a thunderstorm or a shower north of Stanley, Chalice, Ladore, Salmon area, maybe under the gun for that, but most of the region staying dry during the day on Friday. We will gain a little bit of temperature coverage here, starting to see some readings closer to 90 into Pocatello, maybe some low 90s coming in across the eastern Magic Valley toward Twin Falls, Shoshone, and Burley. This will be one of the warmer days of our forecast, but still not expecting any 100-degree readings in our forecast area. And we'll back these temperatures off just a few degrees as we continue on through the forecast here. You can see that on Sunday, we're back into the upper 70s to 80s, mostly 80s across the region, close to 90 in Shoshone and Twin Falls. Very similar for your Monday forecast as well. There is a hint that by the time we get out to about Wednesday or Thursday next week, we may see these readings come down a little bit more definitively. We're talking upper 70s to low 80s. That's if low pressure up across Washington and Oregon can come inland and kind of break this pattern that we're in. So we'll see how that plays out here as we watch the forecast in the coming days. So that's what we're looking at. Again, daily chances of afternoon and evening showers and storms. So keep an eye on the radar. Keep an eye out for any weather alerts that are issued. A little bit drier on Friday and Saturday. And again, for our fire weather partners, we may have several days here in the next week or so where we may need a red flag warning for scattered thunderstorm coverage. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to us here at the office. And everyone have a wonderful Thursday.